hello, and welcome to another episode. Hey, I actually look handsome on this template. Yeah, man, I'm looking pretty cool.
Oh
I'm
wow.
loving this. Oh man, welcome to Flight 63 of the Xbox International Podcast. And tonight, here we go. We have someone from the Gamers Console, the man who was a radio DJ program director, which he taught DJ Tiesto how to DJ, and also known for being a better drummer than James Hetfield from Metallica, one of the best interviewers out there, the Outbreak Gamers Podcast, Mr. Webdave. How are you doing, sir? And thank you so much for joining us tonight.
I'm doing great. Thanks, man. I know James Hetfield was a guitar player and lead singer, not a drummer, but so definitely better than he is. I'm just
Wait, what?
fucking with you, man.
He's what? He's a better singer? Oh, I thought he was a drummer
It's all
though.
great. It's all right, dude. It's okay. Somebody must have got you some wrong information. Where did you get
Oh,
that from?
oh dear
Too
Lord.
funny.
That's my bad. That's my bad. But
I'm just
hey,
messing with you, man. It's
I
all good.
tried.
Thanks,
I
man.
tried. I
I'm
tried. It's cool.
I'm so glad to be here, man. This is awesome. We're gonna have fun tonight.
All right. Thank you, man. Really, thank you for joining us tonight. I know we're gonna have
My
a lot of
pleasure.
fun tonight. Have a fun show. And speaking about having fun, Mr. Plume, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. I like that we're talking about lead singers, even though you got that wrong. But I heard you're a lead singer, Louis. So hopefully you'll sing tonight on the show at some point. That would make the show fun, make it good. No timeouts for that. But other than that, I'm doing good.
You do not want that.
What do you even want that? I mean, I sing pretty good, man. You know, I sing like what's this guy name who sang that song? My endless love. Oh man, that song
Do
is
do
beautiful.
do 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 do.
Doo-doo-doo. Oh man, I love that song. I can sing that song all night. And speaking about singing, the man who looks like Lionel Richie himself, Mr. Sourblow. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks so much. Excited to have Webdave here with us, and we finally got him here. I feel like we all been in the Outbreak podcast, so it's kind of cool now to have him over here, and excited to talk of gaming like always.
Man, our captain, our dear captain, is running in late. He has been stuck in traffic, but yes, he will be here pretty soon. So yes, I hope that he comes on as soon as I ask everybody what's everyone been playing. So let us start with Mr. Webb, Dave. What have you been playing, sir?
Well, let's see. I played a little bit of my God, the new game that came out. I can't even think of it. Begins with an R.
Ravenlock.
That's it. Wow, talk about a brain freeze. Yeah, that's how memorable it was. No, it's actually pretty good. And then I played a little bit of Redfall. And then that's pretty much it this week. I haven't been a whole lot of gaming because I'm actually on what's called a staycation, and I have a honey-do list that's a mile long of things I have to get done around the house.
Webdave. How
but-
dare you play Redfall?
Exactly. Well, I've heard good things about it.
And speaking about Redfall and failing, Sourblow, what have you been playing, sir? Since you fail in a lot of games.
Well, I finished Ghostwire Tokyo. I put in I don't know, like 40 hours into it. I really liked it. I started Ravenlock. I actually well, I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's a very fun indie game. I do think like any indies, it has its flaw. I feel like the combat could have been better, but so far I've been enjoying it. Like I've been I think I'm pretty much I'm maybe like two bosses away from beating it, I would say. And I got back into Gears 5. So I've been playing some of that too. So yeah, that's what I've been playing lately.
Nice. And Mr. Plume, tell me what have you been playing, sir?
The same games, I guess everyone's been playing Ravenlock. I actually have that on my Steam Deck right now, so playing that as my handheld game going around, and Redfall. I've been playing decent amount of Redfall. I'm actually having fun, contrary to what we're allowed to have with this game. We've been banned from having fun with it, but I'm having a decent amount of fun with it.
All right, awesome. Me, since nobody asked how am I doing, what am I playing, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Usually
to help,
silent
yeah,
help us with that.
no, it usually does. Well, to help with you guys, but I love y'all anyways. No, I'm just kidding. Love you guys. But anyways, what have I been playing lately? I was playing Redfall, but then like I took a long break. Like I did not play nothing this weekend. I mean, what did I do though? I actually, you know, took a long break, did not
Didn't
play.
you play like
What?
what was that indie game you were playing?
Oh, Hellseed, but that was on Thursday. I actually, that's the funny thing. I was playing You Must, and the missus came by last week, and she came by early, so I had to like end the stream, and there was only like 20 minutes left of the game. So as soon as I got on to continue playing it, which was on Thursday, it was like a 27-minute stream. I was actually super sad. I was like, man, it's already done. What? It's like no way. So yeah, I finished that game like right away, and I was really sad. I was like, man, I thought it was gonna be like an hour long, but then
Hey,
I jumped
Louis,
into what's up.
I thought you were playing Pick Up the Soap Bar.
Oh,
Didn't you have to play pick up the bar of soap? That's what it is. Yeah. Pick up the bar of soap. I'll let you explain that one.
oh, so you guys want me to seriously tell the story of what happened to me on Monday? If it's okay, Sarah, can I tell the story of what happened to me Monday?
Sorry,
Sure,
Sarah.
yeah.
You mean to throw a wrench into your show?
No, it's cool. It's so on Monday, Crazy Louis went to jail. I mean, because I was my gun permit was what's it called? I did not pay my gun permit in time. So they told me, hey, you got to come to the police station. And literally, they were trying to put me in jail because I was 3 months behind, paying the gun permit. So yeah, after an hassle, like an hour just sitting there, dealing with stuff, I had to use, my, I don't want to say this because, yeah, it sounds bad, but I had to use a little bit of my power, call one of the big guys to help me out. And yeah, and after like an hour, they actually let me go. Hour and a half or two, I think it was, actually let me go.
So that's how you work, huh?
Yeah, Crazy Louis, got power. Yeah, just like Superman, which,
Okay.
powerful
Okay,
man,
mister.
Yeah, pretty powerful man. But yes, actually got to jail and made it on time on the Boom Show. I mean, not on time, a little bit late, but yes, I actually made it, which
You
I
did
was
make
really
it.
happy. Yeah, I did make it. Whew, thank God. But yeah, so let me go right through the flight itinerary so we can start our show. Right, Sarah? Or should I pass it to you? Or should I do it?
Oh, go ahead.
All right, so the flight itinerary is we're going to start with the security screening, which Sourblow takes care of that. After that, we will start with the opening topics, which is take it or drop it. I don't know why Sourblow did put that on there, but yep, that sounds pretty weird. Bungie's new IP might ditch Tiger Engine for Unreal Engine 5. That's interesting. Timmer 22 rumor is 2 upcoming AAA games. Oh, nice. What's that word? Nick Shepshaw, my bad, rumor. Which we talk about the Metal Gear Solid remake coming, PlayStation and all that stuff. A new Superman game hinted by Warner Brothers. Please, Lord, please be a good Superman game because really, every time Superman gets mentioned into video games, it always comes out horrible. I don't know why. The only good Superman game is The Death and Return of Superman. That's the only one that was in Super Nintendo. But other than that, man, all of them, oh my God. Oh man, and especially that Superman 64, which won Game of the Year of being the worst game of all time. Yep. Also, in main topics, we will talk about Phil's apology and what's coming up, the Xbox Showcase. Woohoo! Which that's going to be interesting. So, Sourblow, start your security screening before I make the in-flight announcement since our captain is going to jump up a little bit late.
Okay. Before I do start, Crazy, just so you know, I let your life be a little bit difficult, but you actually have on the left side of the screen, you kind of have there already. You have the flight itinerary there, so you didn't have to read through everything, but that's fine. That's fine.
Oh.
But anyway,
and the funny thing is, you sit to the left. I actually look back to the left and say, "What are you talking about?" And I look behind me. I was like, "What?"
oh man. But anyway, we're gonna start with the security screening. To our guests, that's something we started. I would say what, like 10 episodes ago. And what we do is, since we had a lot of like technical issues, we wanted to, pick up our security. Unlike Crazy Lou, security over there in Dominican Republic. I don't know if they're accepting bride and all that, but we don't accept that here. So we do a little checkup with our guests. So we're gonna ask you a couple of questions to make sure, we let you aboard the plane and we go on the flight. So
All right.
if that's okay with you.
Sure.
All right. So let's start with our first question, which is the time capsule question. And this is a hypothetical question. Well, they both will be. And this would be, let's say Constellation has chosen you to pick 3 games that will go into space in a time capsule as a mean of introducing other life forms to our planet. What 3 games would you choose and why?
Okay. I'd say the original Legend of Zelda,
Great pick.
Nice.
because it's pretty much perfect, in my opinion. I'm old school because I am old. And then I would say probably Dreamcast version of Soul Calibur,
Oh, nice.
because it was absolutely revolutionary when it came out, and really
That's
go
that's
ahead.
my favorite. I was gonna say that's my favorite Soul Calibur, and I thought when I saw that first Calibur in the Dreamcast,
Mhm.
I thought it looked like nothing that was out there at that time.
Exactly, and
Yeah,
I mean, yes, it's a little dated, but it holds up today, especially when you compare it to anything else that came out at that
yeah.
time. It's like, holy crap, it was leaps and bounds among everything else that came out. A third one, huh? That one's tough. Again, I'm going to go real old school, which people are probably like, who, what? Atari Adventure, because it was actually the first game that had an Easter egg ever.
Atari Adventure. I have to go
You have to look that one up.
Yeah, I gotta look that one up.
As 3 levels of difficulty, and it's not super hard after you figure it out. But they actually the developer, the guy that created it for Atari, put in he wanted to get his name in the game, because they didn't do that back then. There was no, you were just paid for your service and you were done. There was no credit to it. So he put a little Easter egg in that you could actually do, and there's videos online. You can watch somebody do it if you want to. And then it actually kicks up and it makes this wild, colorful screen with his name. It scrolls across, and it's not big and exciting, but it's just one of those. If you're into gaming, it's kind of a cool place in history for gaming. That's it, man.
No, that's nice. That's pretty cool. Like I wasn't expecting the adventure. What was it again?
Atari's Adventure.
Atari's
Adventure.
Adventure. But I just looked it up too. But anyway, I got a little bit distracted because Mr. Joanna Dark, I gotta call you out in the chat. Stop trying to bribe our guests, okay? We're not picking Code Veronica, so
Code
stop.
Veronica.
Yeah, he loves. Yeah. I thought you were gonna pick Fantasy Star though online. That's the. I thought you were gonna talk about that one day. I was like,
PSO is big in my book. I love it.
Yeah.
Add a fourth one, that might be it. Just saying.
Right.
Okay.
You're doing pretty good so far. Now,
Thanks, man.
The next question.
Well, here we go.
This one might be a little bit harder, but
No cavity search, okay, Lou? I know you enjoyed your stay, but what? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I told you guys gonna get messy tonight because it's gonna be coming up.
Lou, you kind of earned it though. But I'm just gonna say
that. I love you, Louie. I'm just playing.
I love you too, man.
No, we love it. We love it.
Not like that, Louis.
Yeah. Oh wow! But anyway, you got on a flight, and you decided to sleep for the duration of the trip.
Sounds about right.
Oh, that sounds about right. Well, this time is gonna be a little bit special because when you wake up, it's either gonna be Phil Spencer or your gaming idol wakes up right next to you. Well, it's sitting next to you when you wake up. You have only 2 to 3 minutes to introduce yourself and give your elevator pitch to that person. What will your elevator pitch be?
Okay, so I'm waking up from a dream, right? It's not a wet dream,
Yeah.
right? Just
No,
checking.
no.
All right, then. Oh, Lou had to go off camera. Don't. Oh, goodness. I told this to be my last time on the show. No. Phil Spencer, without a doubt. I would love to have a few minutes to talk to Phil Spencer for sure, because I think he's a pretty amazing guy. And while he's done, I know he gets a lot of shit, but I gotta tell you, he's standing ground and he's standing tall, and he's actually there taking the hits where other CEOs wouldn't. So
Alright.
I see Mr. Dark's Kojima. That would be a good one too. But if it was just me and him, I wouldn't be able to speak his language. So probably wouldn't do much good. I would look at him a lot and be like, "Oh, don't arigato." I like it. But yeah, so no, I would Phil Spencer. That's my choice.
Okay, all right. Well, you had excellent choices.
Thanks.
I would say you actually passed the screening, and just in time, we actually got our captain back. So
Oh, wait.
Uh-oh. Wait, where'd he go?
Oh man, just in time. I was actually getting ready to do the captain thing. Okay.
no, you came just in time.
Let,
We,
let,
we
let me
don't
take my
want we
vote.
don't want we don't want prisoners running the plane.
Oh.
So I will pass it to our captain for our in-flight announcement.
Hello?
Yes, we can.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sour has turned on the subscribe button. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Please stow your food and beverages next to your desk, underneath your seat, or in front of you. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt. We also encourage you to hit that notification bell. We gently remind you that smoking and drinking are not prohibited on this flight. However, going in and trying to change the flight restrictions in the captain's absence so you can exact revenge on Sourblow is strictly prohibited. We're looking at you, crazy. If you have any questions about our flight today, please don't hesitate to ask. Thanks.
All right. Well, before you pass it over, Silent, can you tell us at least what you've been playing and how you've been?
Man, I've been playing a bunch of not playing games. I've been watching a bunch of movies. Is all I've been doing, unfortunately. But I did watch the new Scream, which was cool.
Cool.
I have not played like any games over the last few days. Sorry guys, I'm really boring this week. It's been super busy at work. I've been super busy going into Mother's Day weekend, so I haven't gotten to play like any games. But I did watch Scream 6, which encouraged me to go back and watch Scream 1 with my kids, which then caused my daughter to have nightmares. Of which I was then not able to show them Scream 2, and then I proceeded to go watch Scream 3, 4, and 5.
Really? She actually was scared of Scream, because Scream for me is like,
Yeah, she's it's interesting with her when it comes to horror movies and stuff, right? Like if it's something where there's even remotely a possibility of it being possible, like being realistic or legitimate, then she freaks out about it. But if it's something where it's like fighting off aliens or something like that, she doesn't care at all. Like it could be super gory, super scary. But if there's a realm of possibility where it could actually happen, and something like someone calling you at home when you're alone and, like parents are gone or something like that, like it burrowed into her head and it proceeded to cause her to stay up, I think, until like 1 a.m. that night, of which I didn't know this. God bless my loving wife. She did not wake me up in the middle of that chaos. I simply just saw a text message the next morning that said, "Our daughter has a bunch of testing for end of year at school for the next few days. please no more horror movies so she can get sleep. Whoops.
Oh, so,
Whoops.
so she probably can't watch Jaws because me, Jaws is the most traumatized movie of all my life. I can't go in the
Yeah,
theater without that song playing in my head.
it may not be the best idea for me to do that right now. It's funny though, because my son, who's 5 years younger than her, he watched Scream with us, and he was out like a light. so, for better or for worse. But yeah, but that's what I've been playing / watching.
Right. Let me do right away before we start a shout out to the chat. Right, guys, let's go.
Yeah. Shout out
Let
those
us start.
passengers. Oh,
Let's start with Talos, the man with the ray. How are you doing, sir? Going down to this Sanchez Martinez. Hello. Hi, sir. 05000. What's up? The fifth horseman. How are you doing, brother? John TJ. Hello, sir. Fantos, sir. What's up, my dear brother Fantos, sir? Hope all is well with you. Going down the list, let's see who else is on here. Mr. Dark, the man with the Code Veronica. He keeps on trying to throw in that Code Veronica, but nobody likes it. Sorry about that, Dark. One day we'll finally find the right person for you that would actually say, I love Code Veronica. But yes, let's wait for that. Anyways, I think that is, am I done? Who else is here? I think that's all. So let us continue. Let us keep on going. And it's so silent. Please take it away.
Hey, real quick. So before I jump into that, obviously I was a
Oh.
little late, so my apologies.
Wait, let me do one last shout out. It's Timmy. What's up, buddy? That's it. Right. I think I should skip that. Sorry about that. Timmy.
It's fair. Dave, thank you
Yes.
so much for coming to join us this evening.
dude.
Sorry about my absence.
No, it's
I
okay.
felt horrible when I was leaving work and I saw that I was going to be in gridlock. So
All good, man. Life happens to all of us, so I'm thank you for the invite. That's what I appreciate.
No, absolutely, man. It's I've been looking forward to it. I was able to listen to your guys' banter a little bit right before I jumped into the show, and it sounds like you guys have already gotten very nice and comfy this evening and started picking on Louis. So it's perfect. Honestly, it's like
Me?
home. It's like home.
fit in perfectly.
Yes. So we're gonna jump right into it this evening. We've got some stuff that's gonna be kind of some faster conversations to kind of have to start off with, but we've got kind of some like take or drop scenarios in regards to rumors. So we're basically just kind of talking about like what we think's actual like valid situations, or if this just sounds like it's too far fetched to an extent. Something a little different than our usual. You changed hats on. Oh. Nice Atari hat.
Sorry, man.
Sorry. I saw a red hat pop up. Squirrel.
Not like that.
So we'll jump to the first one real quick. So one of the new things that we've heard is that Bungie's new IP that we've heard about for a little while now might ditch the Tiger engine and shift to UE5. So there's been a little bit about this over the last day or two, but it sounds like basically they've had several unannounced projects that are in development, including some new IPs in the incubation phase. The company has been actively posting new job positions for these unannounced projects. Some of them hint a potential shift away from the Tiger engine, which is what they've traditionally used, it sounds like. So there's a few things that kind of sounds like they came out and kind of talked away on it a little bit too. They said it didn't seem like they were confirming or denying it, but there were some details that popped up. So like one particular job ad that stood out was specifically mentioning Unreal Engine 5. Which is the latest generation of Epic's Unreal Engine, of course, and released last year. So it was a job listing for a gameplay engineer lead who would be working on the new IP and genre at Bungie. And then I think we'd heard about this previously, but like a lighthearted and whimsical type of character base for this game. So this one obviously has a little bit of the like where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Like when these things pop up, usually it gets you thinking like, okay, this is probably fairly legit. But Dave, do you think there's any validity to this? Do you think they're going to go more with the streamlined engine, which is UE5 at this point? Or do you think they're going to stick with that Tiger engine?
Well, I mean, for them, the Tiger engine's been pretty trustworthy, and they know it inside and out. If they are trying to bring in a more, I guess, diverse developers to work on different projects, and if they're, since it's basically Bungie, right? That's doing that. So, a lot of their other, I guess, these games that they're working on with Sony, assisting on, I should say, they may behoove them to actually learn Unreal 5, to help, with the other games develop. But that's just a kind of a speculation thing. As far as do I think they? I mean, Unreal 5 is a pretty sound engine. Pretty from what we understand, it's it makes it a lot easier for developers to to jump in with the assets and stuff and jump in. And if more people know it, you have a good crew of people that know that engine. That just means your game's going to get done faster and hopefully better and more involved. So, is it, I have no insight knowledge, so I could say for sure whether they would do that or not. I'm sure there's probably just as many negatives to dump in the engine and go into Unreal as there is, going to Unreal for future projects. But if it gives them the opportunity to learn it, then I would think, why not?
So I do like what you bring up about that, right? Is obviously like it would make them more flexible in regards to future projects and stuff, potentially, possibly working with other groups and being able to adapt a little bit better. If they can pick up the Tiger engine, bounce over to another engine, and have some familiarity, some cross training, as it were, that would be a good thing. It makes me wonder if maybe there's a world where we could end up seeing, especially since Bungie's kind of got all these split teams where they're doing some different projects, if maybe we'd see a world where you've got UE5 and Tiger engine going basically in tandem at the same time, like working on different projects, utilized in different projects, and just depending on the scope, they use accordingly going from there. Plume, what do you think? Smoke on this one, or do you think it's a fizzled out fire?
I think like there's a lot of developers moving over to Unreal Engine 5, right? I think just from like looking at some of the tools within Unreal Engine 5, it just makes game development a lot easier. Like there's just a lot of like plug and play, like drag and drop type of stuff that at least that I've seen, stuff that like if you download on your computer, if you know nothing about development, you could even play around with it. Like that character creator, meta human or whatever it's called, like that type of stuff will just take off a lot of stress, I think, on development teams. Especially when we look at what's happening right now in gaming with all these games coming out broken, games having to continuously be delayed. I think there's a huge need in game development for reducing the complexity of making these massive games. And if Unreal Engine can do that, I think it'll be something that it's a no-brainer for most studios to jump over to.
Sure. I like that. Sour, what's your quick take on this one before we move on to Louis?
Yeah, I think all you guys hit the nail on the coffin with Unreal Engine. Basically, like Webdave started to mention, a lot of the developers are moving to Unreal Engine because the tools that it has, as you all iterated, it makes development faster. And something also that I believe it's going to happen more and more with Unreal Engine. As more of these developers create assets, they're able to share between each other. So that will also help a lot as time moves on, because so many developers are using Unreal Engine 5. And we've seen indie developers create already like magnificent games. So I can only imagine, the big studios, when they really dedicate time and resource to these games, they will look amazing. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Sweet. I agree. I'm looking forward to when we actually start seeing these games, right? Because I feel like we keep hearing about all these things that are coming. All these things are coming like time and time again, And here we are still waiting, like, okay, let's see these things actually in action. The little tech demos and stuff that we've seen obviously are pretty awesome, and it's exciting to see where they're going with it. But to see that on a full scale, I think will be really exciting. Crazy, real quick. Before I have you chime in on this, I just wanted to say, since I wasn't here for the conversation earlier, I thought that why you got arrested earlier this week was because you mentioned guns, and I figured that you flexed your arms to them and they didn't take you seriously, and so they took you in for questioning because they thought you were unstable. But anyways, real quick, what's your take on this UE5 situation?
If it's true, it's a great engine to work on. I mean, we have seen how UE5 works. I mean, we've seen Fortnite and the way it looks, and we've seen a couple games on UE5, and man, they look beautiful. They look gorgeous. So yeah, I mean, why not move on and try something new? Especially since a lot of developers have said it's a lot more easier to use. I mean, am I right with those? I think Elaine was one of them that was talking about, right?
Sorry. Yes. Sorry about that. My mic
What was that noise?
Are we getting wiretaps here? What's going on?
Oh Lord!
Is Phil Spencer tuning into the podcast?
They're checking in on Louis after his previous brush.
Yeah.
We better make sure he's on the straight and narrow.
Is he gonna get arrested on camera?
He might.
You guys would love that, right? You guys would love police.
Watch for that door to get kicked down, man. Watch
Yeah,
Bad boys. What you gonna do? Oh,
Oh dear Lord! But yeah, that's my take on that.
So I'll ask you one other thing real quick before we bounce on to the next thing. But I mean, obviously we haven't heard like a lot of the different stuff that Bungie could be working on. But if you actually, I'm going to throw this to Dave. Crazy,
Okay.
you sit in your corner. Prepare for the arrest. Dave, if you had a choice on what Bungie's next IP was going to be, what type of genre it was going to be, what would you pick?
not a game of service. Just saying. But you know, is it ow hurts. Not really. I'm not. I mean, they first person shooters are they're really good at those. So I would say continue something like that, but maybe a totally different, vein genre. I mean, you put the work that they've done with the originally on Halo and then now Destiny. They have such a they have a really good understanding of how to do a multiplayer shooter. Maybe something that could compete with Grand Theft Auto would be crazy to see them do something like that. I don't know if it's possible.
That would be pretty wild.
Hypothetical. That's my thing. I think that'd be crazy.
I would like to say something because Mr. Webdave just gave me an idea. Can you guys imagine that actually Bungie could be working on something that can compete against Call of Duty? Can you actually think that can happen? They can actually make a new war type of game.
Yes,
that could be something that could be.
Yeah, I think depending on what type of budget they get, depending on what the idea is, right? Like depending on what they bring to the table, if it's something that's already been done over and over again, I don't know if it'll gain traction. But you look at something like Fortnite, right? Like when we saw Fortnite way back in the day, and we saw what it was originally going to be, we're like, oh, this looks interesting, I guess. And then when it finally released, we're like, what is this? Like, this isn't what anyone wanted. But then once they saw the Battle Royale stuff and they made their own version of it, it took off. And that was like the initial spark of those like Battle Royale games and stuff. So you look at it and it's like the potential of someone striking gold on something like that again and having that like moment where suddenly we've got like a whole new genre or something that like shows up in the industry and suddenly we see like a bunch of other people cloning them. It would be interesting to see. It'd be really cool. I'd be super excited if we saw another genre like that just kind of pop up. battle royales took over, and I think it's going to continue to get mined over the next few years. But the question is, right, is like, what is the next game type, right? So I guess only time will tell, but I'm looking forward to seeing who it is that catches lightning in a bottle again, just like what Fortnite and Battle Royale or PUBG did, So yeah, so we're gonna move on to the next thing real quick. So a rumor that we ended up getting regarding 2 AAA games. So Sperasoft, which was a Fallout 76 co-developer, is working on an unannounced AAA third-person action RPG in UE5. UE5 is the keyword for this whole show today. And then there's a unannounced AAA sci-fi FPS from Blind Squirrel Games, with a large AAA publisher. These are a couple of the new rumors that kind of popped up. It feels like these AAA games showing up out of nowhere seems a little bit more rare. For me, I don't know if I'd really buy that this one's or that these ones are gonna happen just yet. But Dave, what do you think? Do you think this co-developer that was working on Fallout 76, do you think they've bounced off and they're working on this new thing, this action RPG in UE5, or do you think it'd be too soon? Obviously, they're still supporting. I mean, maybe those guys are already off of the dev for that game at this point, but there's still content coming out for Fallout 76. So it'd make me wonder if they're still part of that or if they've been kind of spun off to do their own thing, right?
Right. I mean, it's definitely a possibility, and I mean, why not? Fallout, as good as it is, I got friends that were playing earlier today. They were trying to get me to come in, and I just didn't have the time. But yeah, it's it's a good question, but I'm sure they have enough of a subset team, people that can continue to focus on that and to keep it up to date and add new content to 76 as it goes along. But why not? Let's get new stuff. Let's get some more new IPs.
Yeah, a AAA third person action RPG could be fun.
Yep.
Seems like we've got some first person RPGs that are going to be coming. So it would be cool to have another one in maybe a different camera view like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe see some more stuff like Witcher. The Witcher would be cool. And I believe we know that there's another Witcher in the works as well. I believe that was the next one that they were working on, right? Yeah, they spun up like a bunch of projects all at the same time. CD Projekt Red is, speaking of ones to watch out for, they look like they're going to be an interesting one over the next 5 to 8 years, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But we'll burn through this one a little bit more since there's not a lot to really go off on these. You remaining gentlemen, Plume, would you take this as a smoke or a nope?
I think smoke, but my question is are they making their own game? Which I'm skeptical. Like, they're co-developers. Who are they working with? What game are they working on? What IP are they working on? Right.
Right.
That's what I would want to know. I think
that's
probably what they're doing.
Which is a weird, like a random rumor for this specific guy, Timmer222.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with this person that ended up putting this info out there. So
I've seen him pop up. He's got it. He spreads rumors like this, just going through LinkedIn and finding like people's
going off of job descriptions.
Yeah.
And stuff
So it's
like
not making it up, right? It's actually, they put that in generally. But I don't 100% know, but.
So yeah, I quickly jumped into like their website, the Spearsoft website. I was like, let me jump in just in case, just to see what's going on. And basically, all they've done is co-develop.
They just co-develop big games too.
Big games. I mean, they did Saints Row, Dead Space, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, 2, FIFA 23, Halo Infinite, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So basically, yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, and
crazy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say lots of Xbox first-party titles on this list.
Yeah.
So maybe, you never know. Maybe they're working on something with Xbox.
Maybe that. Yeah. Maybe it's a.
I'm just trying to stir the rumors here.
Uh-oh.
They're working
the
on
insider.
Scalebound 2.
Oh, Lord.
We've canned the original. We're bouncing to the sequel. Screw it. Why not? Crazy. I like the fact that you called Saints Row a AAA. That warms my heart, sir. Thank you.
Oh, did I? Did I say it was a triple A?
You did. You did. You mentioned that they had worked on AAA games previously.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate that. Make sure to tell Mr. Dark that for me.
Oh, he says it's not a triple A? What? Saints Row's a triple A game? What is...
Sourblow, what's your take on these couple different ones that we ended up hearing? The sci-fi FPS from Blind Squirrel, and then this one from the co-developer of Fallout 76. Do you think from based on what we've found out, obviously this is some stuff detailed from some LinkedIn and stuff like that. So maybe there's some smoke on this one. What's your take though?
Yeah, I think like Plume, it's a wait and see because are they working on these games on their own, or are they working with someone else? Which most likely they're working with someone else, especially if you see their history, their past history.
So now that we've got that one with a little more generic detail, we're gonna go to the good one. We're gonna go to the juicy one, by as stated by Crazy Louie, Shepshel. Special Nick ended up posting one from Xbox Era.
What's his name?
Special Nick.
I was laughing
when you said
Crazy
Shepshel, I got
Yeah.
a big grin on my face. Sorry, Nick. Sorry.
Did I
Sorry
really say
about
Chef's no? Did I say Chef's show?
So, anyways, Metal
You
Gear
know what's
Solid
funny,
3.
real quick?
Yeah.
When he said that, I was thinking to myself, I was like, I wish Silent was here listening to this and
Dude,
get Dick Cash.
I heard it, and I had a big grin on my face because I was like, wait a minute. Did he? Oh, yeah, he did. He did.
Oh,
Crazy, you delivered, like always. Thank you, sir. Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. So obviously we've heard about this being a thing for years now, it feels like. And this one, personally, just like Crazy saying that Saints Row is a AAA game, it warms my heart to hear that there's a Metal Gear Solid that possibly has a remake coming. Obviously, there's a lot of question marks to this situation. If this one ends up being true, which it seems more than likely, I think we can kind of avoid the idea of if we think this is just a rumor, if it's fact. It seems like at this point it's fact. It's just a matter of when, not if. But the big questions obviously pop into play are something like Kojima, like signing off creatively on something like this. That's the big thing that I see being like a major barrier on this situation. But I guess we'll see, because according to Jez Corden on one of his articles, he actually had heard from his sources that Sony has entered into an agreement with Konami to limit Metal Gear, Silent Hill, and possibly Castlevania to PlayStation. So potentially just going straight to Konami and just being like, here's a bunch of money, make this exclusive. I feel like there's still got to be some sort of rights argument or rights fight that we could see because of all this. But what's that? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, from what I understand, Kojima has zero rights to Metal Gear. All of his.
So in that case, there's no rights arguments.
Yeah, that was like the big dispute when he left, right?
Yeah. I guess that is true, right? Because they were holding the purse strings and basically dictating to him what he was going to do with that last game. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I recall happening when that whole separation went down.
That's really unfortunate. But I guess the first thing, so we'll bounce over to Dave. I guess the question that I want to ask on this, and you can tell me what you think about this potential rumor, but the thing that I want to ask you is, do you think Microsoft should start attacking the market with the same approach that Sony is? Given what we know with the current ABK situation, whether it goes through or not, obviously Microsoft is probably going to be pretty salty about the situation after everything going down. Do you think they should start attacking and doing the same type of approach, getting those limited deals, getting those deals that they used to do back in the old days of Xbox?
You think we need to hold the line?
We definitely need to hold the line for sure.
Yes.
Shout out to King. But yeah, I don't know that they need to do it exactly like Sony's doing it, because I think Sony is overly aggressive. If it's a limited time, like a year, 6 months exclusivity on the platform, yeah, the big thing that Microsoft seems to be doing is trying to lock in deals for Game Pass, which I definitely think they should do that. But with Sony going, other teams and developers going, if you want this on our platform, you shouldn't be in Game Pass at all. And we've seen some filings that show that, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more disclosure if other things happen in the next couple of months. So I don't know. I think would I like them to? Yeah, I would definitely like them to step up and fight fire with fire a little bit. I think that would go a long way, even if it's just a not everything, not scorched earth approach, but pick a few targets and be like, this would be good, this would be good, this would be good. Diablo would be great if it came out on Game Pass, whether they own it yet or not. So maybe preemptive strike, see if you can get that on, at least get it on Game Pass, or something, or at least, I don't know. There's so much in the air. I mean, I know the reason for them not doing it seems to be that they don't want to look bad for all these different regulators. They don't want to be like the bad guy. They want to, they need to, I guess, come across they're on their heels. But after the way the CMA treated them, and the way that's the way that Jim kind of goes at it, I think that it's a really thin line. I think, because I think personally, I think that Sony has crossed the line. Even though yes, it is a business, and that's how you succeed at business, and that's how they've become the market leader they are now, is by doing these cutthroat deals and things and trying to drive out other, people in the industry. I mean, they want to be the market leader. They want to make all the money. But for the consumer, but for the people that are buying the games, it's Sony, for them, even though they don't see it, would be better off for you as a consumer if they didn't have everything, if they didn't get everything they wanted, if it was actually a more even playing field, because that means they're going to have to work hard. And when they work hard, Sony comes up with some great games and some great ideas and some great stuff, instead of another, I don't know, Spider-Man 2, which is, couldn't that be an add-on? I know I'll probably get a lot of hate for that. But to me, that's all it is. It's just, well, okay, cool. Yeah. Let's just, slap some more characters in there and some more models and just release the same game. Because it's kind of what they did with Ragnarok, in my opinion. Yeah. Half cutscene, half gameplay. I don't think so.
It's the virtuous cycle.
Yeah.
Ryan's virtuous cycle.
It is. Yes. It is. But he's the one that said, we need to, he said that the consoles, Sony PlayStation, isn't enough. They need to get their games out on PC. Of course, fanboys were like, "Oh, you're crazy!" They were revolting, but he's right. That's why Microsoft is doing it. The bigger ecosystem.
I like how that conversation somehow always manages to evolve or morph to an extent, right? He's like, yo, we need to put this on other things so we can actually make money. And they're like, no. What he's saying is, and they try and course correct for him. And it's like, oh, it's so sweet. You talking for Jim. That's so sweet. Yeah. We'll see your games on PC in like 3 months. Yeah.
Because they all
No,
know what
that's-
Phil's talking about, don't they? They have
Yeah.
no clue.
I think we keep running into the same thing over and over again. Obviously, like, you know, you're going to run into extremists on all sides of the gaming, just like most things in life. And there's definitely like a small, very vocal group on each side where it's like that defense force is strong, like real strong. They're willing to lift that weight and hold the water for anyone who comes out and makes a comment. They're like, no, we got this. Uncle Phil, Jim, whoever's in charge at Nintendo now, since it's not Reggie, we got you.
It's Bowser, man. It's Bowser.
Oh, that's right. It's Doug Bowser, isn't
That's
it?
right.
Yep. My bad. I had a Freudian slip for a second. But yeah. So no, I definitely I agree with your thought on that. Like, do they necessarily need to do the exact same page from the playbook? No. But I wonder if maybe this allows them to look at it and be more creative with how they approach some of these exclusivity deals and stuff. And you mentioned, I'm glad that you mentioned the Game Pass thing, right? I heard that a lot earlier. So Plume, I actually want to ask you on that. Do you think maybe that's the move forward, right? Is instead of just limiting a game to like the console specifically or the ecosystem, why not just make it so it's like, yeah, okay, you know, you can have it over here on PlayStation, but you can have it day one in Game Pass for free. It kind of seems like that would be their way to assault that and kind of counter that move, because then it's a lot harder to see that it's on PlayStation and Xbox at the exact same time, but seeing that you're paying that $70 constantly for these games that are all coming to Game Pass. But what's your thought? Do you think maybe that's the path forward?
Yeah, well, I think especially if the Activision Blizzard deal doesn't pass, right? They're going to have a lot of money, a lot of cash they're sitting on. And I don't know if the next logical step is to take that cash and then go and try to acquire another huge publisher and then sit through another year and a half of all the focus being on that and just kind of taking away from investing in what they currently have, or going out, like you said, and making more deals similar to what PlayStation has been doing. Now, from my own personal perspective, like I've been consistent on this, and I'm probably never going to change on it, but I like what Xbox has been doing, which is just providing that access to as many people as possible. I think that's a great thing for gaming, and it sucks that I hate third-party exclusives. I hate timed exclusives more so than anything. So I think, but at some point, Xbox has to realize that, like, hey, like, our deals are getting blocked. PlayStation is continuously going out and making deals for these massive IPs. Like Metal Gear is huge, right? It's going to be a massive draw for people over to buy PS5. Same with Silent Hill, same with Castlevania. If this rumor is true, I think at some point Xbox needs to start doing more third-party deals, whether that means only on the Xbox ecosystem, like wherever Game Pass is, wherever cloud gaming is, or like you said, I think the other great solution, because they're going to be making money from both ends, right, is, hey, you guys can go buy this on PlayStation for $70, or it's day one in Game Pass. And I think that will bring a lot of people over, even if it's just for signing up for a month to draw them in and then to see what other stuff's available on Game Pass just to play that game. I think it's like a very smart strategy to get more Game Pass exclusive stuff and big day one third-party games to try to draw people into checking out Game Pass in the ecosystem.
Absolutely. Sour, I'm going to bounce it to you real quick. I feel like we got a little bit off in the weeds, just obviously because like that's one of the main topics. It's a big one for us right now. But getting it back to Metal Gear, if this is the case, which it sounds most certainly it is, we had obviously heard talks about maybe Blue Point being one that had worked on it, or we had heard some other possible rumblings. But are you excited about the idea of Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, or would you rather have a different Metal Gear remade, if it were up to you?
Okay, before I answer that, I do want to jump a little bit back into the conversation.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
I want to add to what Plume was saying and Webdave. I also think that Xbox has a little problem with in terms of the exclusivity deals, and I think that the fact that PlayStation has been the market leader for so long, they get kind of like the leeway, or they get they kind of have the bargaining chip
Yeah.
in terms of negotiation, where they be like, we want to pay you X amount, so you just keep it out of the Xbox platform, which you're not gonna sell that much anyway, and you just keep it on an hour. On the other hand, Xbox doesn't have that bargaining chip because right now they're in third place. But I do think that Game Pass is going to help a lot because they can counter now with, you can bring the game to Game Pass. Thousands of people will play it, or millions of people will play it, and you can also keep it on the PlayStation platform, and we will give you X amount, which now they can, try to like make, kind of like get into like kind of like a better like get a better deal. As of before, like if they wanted to lock a game, they would have probably asked them, the world and more, because they're like, you're kind of like not the market leader. If I keep the game away from the PlayStation platform, I will be missing out on possibly so many sales. So that's something I wanted to add to that. That I think that's kind of an issue that they were running into, but hopefully now Game Pass will help. And regarding Metal Gear, I would like Metal Gear 3 definitely, but I would like them to actually do the whole collection. To be honest, do a remake of all four. Are they four? Four, right?
5, but
Four or
but
five?
there's
Yeah.
4 old
We don't.
ones.
Yeah, we don't
so
count the fifth.
we don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah.
What? The fifth, I actually love the fifth.
It was okay, but it just wasn't.
Wasn't finished.
Yeah. It
What do you mean
released
was it?
an unfinished statement. Have we heard that recently?
What do you mean? No, I mean, I love how you put the balloons in the animals and they just take off, like the sheep and stuff like that. That was
Yes.
awesome. I'd love to do that.
Yes. They did carry some really cool things over from obviously like Portable Ops and some of those other ones previous. It was cool to shoot people up into the sky with those Fulton recovery systems. But yeah, I think Sour's very much onto something with that as well, right? Is the fact that in the past they haven't had a bargaining chip to be like, hey, come over here, do this deal with us. It's worth it for you. Like this will benefit you. This will benefit us. I think especially with the fact that now you can get Game Pass all over the place, be it on a phone, be it on your TV, be it on a tablet, be it on a freaking, I mean, like you can get it everywhere. Be it on your Ally or like your little Steam Deck or something like that. Like you can get that thing everywhere. And so I think that opens them up some bargaining in the fact that then they can actually go out there and they can be like, listen, this is our potential market. Things are continuing on. Here's what we're looking at as far as growth. It gives them more bargaining for sure. Crazy. Do you think that's the case? Is like they do have more leverage now that they actually have more alleyways or more paths to actually getting more customers into their pocket instead of just buying a console or having a PC? And which Metal Gear would you like to see if you had your choice?
I kind of got lost at the beginning of the question. What was the beginning of the question? Seriously, I got lost. I really got lost. Sorry about that.
Let me draw it out in crayon.
Yeah. I was actually, what is he talking about? But yeah, go for it.
Do you? Okay, I'm gonna simplify it for you real quick.
Thank you. That would be much better for me. Yeah.
Game Pass on more devices, good or bad?
That's good. That's good.
Good or bad for business?
It's good. But
Good
hey,
or bad for growth?
You got to forgive Louis. He's used to that prison talk.
He's used to answer my question or I shank you.
No, but hey, but I tell you something though. let me tell you something about Microsoft. They're really missing up on a lot of opportunities because hey, guys, let's be honest. I mean, you got EA with you. I mean, it's right there with you because hey, we got what was it called? EA when they used to have it.
Yeah, access.
EA Access, yeah, you have EA Access on your Game Pass, right? You have it on there. I mean, why don't you sit down with EA? For example, one of the biggest EA games that released this year, right? Two of the biggest EA games that released this year. You had Dead Space. You had also Star Wars. I mean, why didn't you get like a special content or something for that game that can actually attract people, to come to Xbox? You should have done something like that. I mean, you should have sat down and done like a cool thing with them. I mean, they're really missing out on such great opportunities to grab some good games and bring some good stuff to their console. I mean, guys, I know you guys wanted to be on Game Pass. I know this has to happen. I know we get mad because third-party exclusivity deals just get stuck on one console, and then after like a year or two, they come out to the other one. But I'm gonna tell you something though. It actually works. It actually helps because hey, man, we're talking about Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, right? One of the best Metal Gear Solids. One of them. It's coming out exclusive for like probably we don't know how much if it does though for like a year or 6 months. We don't know because here's another thing though. I mean, would it be as good because Kojima's not on that? Because I mean that's something that freaks me out because I want to tell you something though. After they left Phantom Pain, right? This Metal Gear Zombie whatever what was that called? That was disgusting. I'm sorry, that was a
Oh,
bad game.
Metal Gear Survive.
Metal Gear
Survive. Yeah,
Survive. Oh my
that's right.
god! I mean, nobody even talks about that game. That's how bad it was. I don't know why Konami like just went over there like, oh, let's make a scary Metal Gear. What? What's wrong with you guys? But like I said, um, we don't know if it's gonna come out good. I mean, Silent Hill is being worked by is it Blubber Team? Bloober?
Bluebird,
Bloober.
Bluebird team.
Bloober Team, yeah, it's being worked by Bloober Team, right?
Yeah.
So we have seen Bloober Team games, and they're not like as scary. I would have gotten somebody else that that can do actually like a scary Silent Hill because Silent Hill is actually it's actually
We'll,
really
we'll
good.
give him a chance. Crazy. We
Yeah,
don't know
wait.
yet.
No, I'm giving them a chance. I'm giving them a chance. I'm not saying no, but again,
Crazy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
what's up?
Bloober also did the Blair Witch game that came out a few years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
played that game and I was like, this supposedly was scary, but I was like,
Oh,
what the hell?
you
Yeah, I
weren't
played.
you weren't a fan? Oh,
It's a
okay.
good game, but but the thing is,
He,
it's like
he,
Callisto
he
Protocol.
probably played it like Quantum Break.
Yeah, played it like Quantum Break. Exactly. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I actually,
Played it, and then I saw
I
a
can,
shiny object.
you
And
gotta
I
give me, you
went.
gotta give me a while to look. But I actually went deep into the game. I mean, I saw I had like a shadow fight, something like that. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. So I don't say spoilers or anything. But yeah, but
Real
seriously,
quick.
if what's up?
Sorry, I wanted to say something.
Go for it.
I see some people in the chat, and this came in my head. I want to see this happen if it hasn't happened yet. I see Purple Haze, and I see Ham Solo. Shout out to you guys, great content, and we got Webdave. All three of you guys make interview. Y'all gotta make that happen. Like switch it around.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
cool.
A round table with all three of you. That would be cool.
I mean, yeah, and you could also like, invite each other.
You're saying.
So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it hasn't happened, I don't
You're
know if it
welcome on
has
my
happened,
show anytime.
but it has to happen. But anyway, continue. Sorry.
Okay, we were a Bloober team, right? Okay, let's continue. So, like I was saying, Microsoft is actually missing out on such good opportunities they need to grab. They need to bring to the table because it does work. I mean, it does help out sell games. It does work. Sit down with Capcom, sit down with Sega, sit down with all these guys, and try to bring what you can to your consoles. People can say, "Hey, let me go buy an Xbox," or "Let me go to subscribe to Game Pass." Because really, you're missing out on, like I said, Star Wars. You're missing out on a good opportunity. I mean, they could have like a cool Darth Vader DLC or something. I don't know anything just to be added on to your thing for like a year, like they do. And trust me, that would help them, get more people to or subscribe to Game Pass or get an Xbox. Seriously, they gotta do that. I'm sorry, they gotta do that. I don't like it, but they kind of have to because those names, like I said, Metal Gear, Silent Hill, Castlevania, they are going to attract the person to go buy a PS5. They will. They will do that. Seriously, they will. Even though they got to wait a year, but they will attract them together. Because those are games that, that
So
get us in, what's
it's,
up?
it's like the conversation that we had kind of off the side in our little group chat, where it's like if this gets announced as an exclusive and we find out that it's like a substantial exclusive, turns out it's something like a Final Fantasy exclusive,
Exactly, yeah.
where it's like it's very up in the air as to like what that really means as far as the timeline goes, then I'll probably buy a PlayStation, but I'm going to wait until they do a refresh and I don't have an Eye of Sauron sitting there on my freaking entertainment system, because that thing does not fit comfortably or aesthetically nice in my setup in any form or fashion. But
Yeah.
that does bring me to one more question I want to ask Webdave real quick before we bounce to the very last one real quick, and I turn it over to Sour, who I'm already welching on his time for main topics. But Dave, if there is this exclusivity that we're hearing about, how long do you think the exclusivity period will be?
Well, I would assume at least a year, and they'll probably have options to extend that if they choose to, because I believe that's what they did with Final Fantasy, to the point to where they just
Just click
locked
the
it out
refresh
completely.
button
Yeah, pretty
every
much.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So, but then again, because now they're starting to get some eyes on them, and there's a possibility that that there actually could be some government type intervention that is actually possible now that they're doing some trade negotiations, which they re-up and stuff all the time with Japan. Japan has been kind of called out for saying this is kind of unfair, the advantage that that
Okay,
Nintendo
do you
and
guys
Sony
see me?
have in their country.
I guess I lost
So
everyone.
so
Let me see.
no,
My
we're all
internet's
here.
Seem right.
So yeah, that's the way it. That's the kind of the way I see it.
Can you
It's
guys in the chat? Can you guys still hear me? And can you guys see me?
Yeah. We can see you now.
Okay, I think we got you back.
Sour, what'd you do?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. It just like
Did
yeah,
you
all this
did you
everyone
accidentally
disappeared.
did you accidentally steer us off into the Rockies?
yeah, I guess.
Oh, dear
Tisk,
Lord.
tisk,
Sourblow. Are we
No,
gonna?
we should be good now. I think we're good.
Okay.
Oh, so,
Seems
but-
like seems like everything's good.
okay. But I forgot to mention what Metal Gear game I want.
Oh yeah. What Metal Gear? Real quick.
I want Phantom Pain because I love those balloons and grabbing them cheap,
Yeah.
stuff like
We're-
that. I love that stuff.
You could have chosen Portable Ops. You could have chosen so many other options.
I know. Just give me Metal Gear Solid. That's the one I love. I play Metal Gear Solid like an idiot. I mean, I played through that like 3,000 times. I love Metal Gear Solid from PS1. That's the one for me.
All right. Well, the last thing I'm going to throw out real quick before I bounce it over to Sour, but one of the other rumors, obviously, that we've been hearing about, this was actually hinted at by Warner Brothers, which is kind of an interesting one. Maybe put some more legitimacy behind it. Maybe. We'll see. But there's a possibility of a new Superman game coming, which right off the bat, I get very nervous that it's going to be a terrible experience because I think of Superman 64, which was a nightmare.
The greatest game ever made.
Yeah. But Dave, does this excite you, and do you think this is a realistic thing at this point?
Superman is a huge franchise for sure. It's had some, bad experiences with the solo team because, when you're pretty much the strongest superhero there is, it's kind of hard to, balance the game, in my opinion. But, I'm all for it. Henry Cavill, there you go. Have him do the voice work. Have him do all the, all the work for it, then then I say go for it. Man of Steel game, let's do it.
Now that would be an interesting thing, right? Because obviously there's been a bunch of conversation about maybe Henry Cavill no longer being Superman, them
In the
replacing
movies.
him off and stuff in the movies and stuff. So I would wonder, I mean, maybe that makes it easier for them to get him for the game, because then they're like, well, he's not mainlining this other one, so he could be maybe like a cheaper option for them to go with, since he's not going to be asking for the royalties for the movie side as well.
I'm
But
afraid I got
I
some
don't know
bad
that he's going to be
news.
cheap.
what?
What?
James Gunn, he said he wants everything like intertwined, even video
Games and everything, huh?
Yeah. So
Yeah. Wishful thinking. There you go. Speculation town.
So in that case, if he's locking it all canon, then that shoots down some of our hopes and dreams. And the only thing that I can hope for is that whoever ends up being the new Superman won't be a nightmare in the shows.
It's gonna be me, man. I'm gonna be the next Superman because I kind of look like Henry Cavill.
Okay.
Plume, are
Hails.
you excited about a new Superman game? And would you like Crazy Louie to be the Superman in the game? I'd be like Captain Underpants the game.
Hell yeah. I will do that.
Oh man.
Where'd that come
Yeah.
from? Dave? Sorry, Plume, go on.
I lost my train of thought here. I was just picturing Louis.
I'm sorry.
I don't know why that entered my brain. I don't know why my brain would even go there, but yeah, I'm excited for a new Superman game. I think when the last game I remember was like Superman Returns,
Yeah. Yep.
like which wasn't very good. I don't think there's been very many good Superman games. I can't recall like a really good one, but I think there's probably some like way older ones, but I don't know.
Yep.
I would love them to make a new Superman game, but I'm with Dave. Like it's really hard. Like when you have a superhero that literally is the most patent. There's not. How are you going to beat Superman, right? Like it's extremely difficult. It's hard for them probably to come up with creatives for a video game for it to make any sense, right? Because like just like random enemies out there will stand zero chance. Like there really shouldn't be any challenge realistically. But yeah, I would love to see it. And if we've seen like the open, we were talking about Unreal Engine 5 earlier. We've seen like the open worlds from like the Matrix demo. Imagine a Superman with like that type of world. I think it would just be incredible.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair. Sour.
I was gonna actually come up with my own question for you
Okay.
guys. How would you guys envision a Superman game? Like how would you ground it? Because like he can't just run through everything. Because that wouldn't be
So
a
it
fun
ruins
video
the
game.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of people didn't like Saints Row 4, is the fact that like basically you were just invincible at that point and you had all the superpowers and could do all the things. And so people are like, it's not great. I would ground him by making him wear a kryptonite necklace at all time. An indestructible one.
Crazy. You look like you want to say something. Go ahead.
Nah, I don't want to say what I have in mind because it's gonna go.
Okay. Yeah.
real weird,
Definitely not.
Yeah, I'd actually get that game.
No. Don't say it. Weird. Whatever. Look crazy.
It was gonna go a little bit weird. I was talking about making those tights, kryptonite, but yeah.
Whoa, crazy.
Kryptonite underoos. All right.
All right.
But hey, I'm gonna tell you something though. I mean, Suicide Squad, is coming out with this game, and it's something that I want to see because it's kind of interesting, the idea, the concept they have, right? So I want to see how they're gonna play it off against Superman because we know Superman has turned bad, right? So I want to see how that Superman is gonna work, and from then on, you can actually pick an idea from there just to make the Superman game. Because with Superman, there's so much cool stuff you can do. But here's the thing, though. I mean, flying around the city, being super strong. I mean, you gotta give him like super bad guys. Some bad guys that can actually kick his butt. Give him some bad guys that are tough. Some bad guys, that could do some cool stuff. Because it's hard to make a plot where you can get a normal human being to face Superman. The only one that has had it right is Injustice, and isn't that with the pill they had to take those sour? That's actually Batman makes like a special pill that makes everybody strong or something. Or am I wrong? I forgot how the Injustice storyline was. Is it like that?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
use kryptonite pill, but
Yeah.
I mean, they can go. What I would do, like, I think a Superman game, you can't make it. To me, like, I can't think of it as an open world, because I think, how do you, like, I think you will have to make it kind of like a linear game, and what you can do is you can do, like, basically one event happens after another. Like, for example, let's say you're in the city, whatever. The first villain, let's say, is Doomsday. Doomsday come. You go through whatever the level is. You defeat Doomsday. Then as soon as you finish with Doomsday, something else happened, and then you continue. And then towards the end, maybe you find out that Lex Luthor was behind everything or something like that. But I think you gotta kind of like make it linear, because if you make it an open world, that's
It
gonna be
would.
hard. Yeah.
No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be bad because I will tell you something though. That there has been like a example of a really tough, strong superhero guy type of guy. We have had Hulk open world games, and it's actually got a good rating. I think it was for PlayStation 2 or 360
It
era.
was
I
it
think it
was
was.
fun. It was
It
fun. It
was a
wasn't
fun
like
Hulk
it
game. I
wasn't
mean,
super like
it was
great, but
open
it was
world, and
alright.
you got Hulk, jumping through the buildings, tearing everything around, flexing his muscles, tearing everything up. I mean, he fought everything, and Hulk pretty much is indestructible. So, but
The
yeah.
dark side that game sounds bad. Sounds better than Code Veronica.
But
Anyway,
yeah,
let's.
like I was saying though, but yeah, you gotta sit down and just get your idea really well. If you make a good plot, like for example, bring in what's his name, ah, Superman, one of Superman's arch villains. That's from Planet
Bizarro.
nah, not Bizarre. Bizarre.
Brainiac,
Nah, Brainiac is okay. No, this
Doomsday.
guy. Yeah,
Oh.
dude's no. The guy that has the cool helmet and kicks everybody's butt. And Batman literally kicked his butt one time.
Anyway,
Ooh,
while you think
Dark
about that,
Dark Seed.
Dark
You know,
Sea, Dark
Oh,
Dark
Side.
oh,
Oh my god.
yeah.
Dark Side. Yeah, Dark Side. Make a good game with Dark Side. Dark Side
Light,
is a really good.
Lightseed's cousin, Darkseid. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the main topic, because we got little time left for them. So
Yeah.
they're pretty big. No, you're fine. You're fine. But let's start right away with Phil apology. So we all saw the video, we all saw the clips, and we all saw a different interpretation of this interview. For some, this is the doom of Xbox, and for some, we saw realization that unfortunately things hasn't been going as planned for Phil, especially the last game, Redfall. It didn't came out as expected, and he came out in public. He apologized, and he took all the fault, and he promised to do better, but he also doesn't want to he just doesn't want to do the talk. He wants to get to the point where he actually show. At least that's what I got from it. But I'm actually curious what our guest has to say. What was his interpretation of the interview, and what does he look forward for Xbox now that we saw this Phil very I would say, I don't even know what word to use
Vulnerable.
to describe. Yeah, vulnerable.
He was
So
pissed off too.
yeah,
Yes. Very
He did not
unhappy
look
that
happy.
day.
He was really pissed off. Never seen him mad.
So what did you think of the interview, first of all, and what do you see moving forward after this Webdave?
Well, I see a CEO, or I guess that's in charge of big corporation for gaming, and stepping up to the plate. They even said, because he was scheduled to do an interview, but it wasn't obviously about this topic, and then it just kind of fell in their hands, and he could have canceled, and he didn't. He faced it head on. So to me, that speaks volumes for what he would do for the company. And obviously, it's a corporation; they want to make money. But him as a gamer, he knows that he wants the company to succeed because he knows the potential that they have. So he wants them to do better and to be the best they can be, and eventually, be one of the dominating players in the field. That's what I get from him. And I mean, he even said in that interview that if he's not doing the job he needs to be doing, then somebody else probably needs to take over for him. They need to replace him. I mean, he kind of came out and said that, not so many words. That I don't know. I all the whole quote unquote fire Phil thing. I think it's stupid. He turned the company around. We wouldn't be where they're at today in gaming if it wasn't for Phil Spencer. And I say he deserves as much slack as there is. He can't be everywhere. He can't do everything. He can't be watching out after every single game and every single thing that comes out. They have some systems in place, and apparently he was under the impression that the internal scoring, the mock scoring, scored it like 10 points higher than what it actually came out as. So that's kind of where they were going. That's kind of where they were thinking it was going to be. And I thought, well, it's not too bad. And then when it came out so bad with all the problems, I'm sure it was. That's why he was probably kind of pissed. It was a wake up call to them that they can't just rely on them to take care of themselves and police themselves, and they're just going to have to do a little more work. And I'm sure those problems were that same day starting to get fixed. I'm sure there were lots of meetings to get things going the right direction. I think if Phil is definitely the person that Xbox needs in place right now to get him through this generation and the next. Someday he'll retire, but not for 15 years or more. I believe he'll be in place for quite a while, and I think that he's the right person for the job. And in his own words,
this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
I love the laugh.
Thanks, Phil.
Yes. Oh man. Okay. Well, I personally think that like you said, he's a person that he's a gamer first of all, which is great, and he has a great vision for us, the gamer. I think in a way sometimes that kind of hurts. It might hurts the. It doesn't really hurt like the brand or like gamers in general, but it does hurt. Let's say the fanboys basically that are kind of rooting for Xbox as kind of like the console, and they're more concerned about the exclusive and who's winning and who's losing. But at the end of the day, that's not his plan, and he does have competition. Unfortunately, the competition doesn't have the same vision that he has, so sometimes they don't play like they don't play nice like he plays. And I feel like, the only thing maybe he might have to do, and I guess based on what I saw in the interview, it seems that he's kind of looking at this and he's like, maybe I might have to not continue to play so much the Mr. Nice Guy. But Plume, you made a great video about this. What can you tell us about like, everything that went into like after the video? Because like after the interview, like Twitter and social media got bombarded of people making video and having their own interpretation of what Phil said. And I feel like you said stated in the video that they kind of like derailed everything he said and kind of like spin it their own way around. So what can you have about that?
Yeah, I mean, my video was just going over what he was saying, right? Like, how do I put this? He was saying stuff that if you've been following the industry, you've been following Xbox for the last, 3, 4, 5 years or whatever, essentially since Game Pass was launched, especially since at least 2019. Like I can find articles going all the way back to 2019. His whole narrative of their strategy hasn't changed. Like he was just everyone took out the console quote and turned it into something that it wasn't, which literally wasn't the first time he said this. He said this multiple times, that they're not there to try to out console Nintendo or out console PlayStation. And I mean, he's even mentioned their true competitors, really, which was like Amazon and Google and other big companies like this who are going to have subscription and cloud gaming services, right? So that's essentially what he was getting to, but people took that out of place because of Redfall launching at 30 FPS on console, right? So it was very easy to jump all over him and make it sound like he was essentially abandoning console, abandoning trying to make good games, abandoning all of these types of things, which obviously isn't the case. Console for him is another avenue to grow the ecosystem. It's a very important avenue, especially because they sell millions and millions of them. They're not going to abandon it. But I think the whole Redfall thing, you have people questioning, is he telling the truth? Which, I mean, fair, because it did release at 30 FPS, right? And it did release as at a worse, I guess, product than on PC. I've played Redfall both on PC and on console, and there's issues on both, but it's better to play on PC because of the frame rates and all that type of stuff. So, but anyways, a lot of people took it out of context. They made lots of videos absolutely misconstruing what he said because it was easy to get views and clicks for doing that. But when it comes to Phil Spencer, I 100% agree with Dave. Like, people calling for his firing haven't been following Xbox. They haven't been following what he's been able to do to turn around this thing. And let's just say hypothetically, because I'm over the negativity now. Like, I've passed it. I'm now on to the next thing. I don't like to dwell on the negative side for too long. Redfall was negative for a lot of people's minds, but let's say hypothetically, Starfield comes out, it's good. Forza comes out, it's good. Hi-Fi Rush was really, really good. And then maybe we get the shadow drop of Hellblade 2. And let's say that's good too. It's going to be one of the best years Xbox has had, and no one is going to remember the blimp on the radar that Redfall was. So I'm going to give Phil, at the very least, until the end of the year before I bring out the pitchforks for his job.
All right. Well, yeah. Speaking of positivity, Crazy Lou is a very positive guy, so I'm actually gonna pitch him this next question. But like going forward, like Plume said, because all we got to do now is like move forward. They have been ramping up for a long time. We saw in the past interview that Phil did, was a few months ago. He mentioned that they were getting ready for their showcase. He talked about the showcase again. They asked him some very cool question. Paris asked him about projects that has been in development that we know about. Are we going to see any updates on them? And as of lately, we have been hearing little things here and there. Like, for example, Starfield already got its rating, which it was rated mature. We have heard that Project Midnight, which is a compulsive game, we have heard little rumors about that potentially, being shown and new hirings that they had on that. We also heard we heard another Digimancy Entertainment Studio, which seems to be collaborating with Obsidian. And they have collaborated in the past in Pillar and Eternity, so they are helping with Avowed. And usually when we get this information, this has already happened, a while back, at least a few months back. So with everything that Xbox has already shown crazy, and all the rumors we're hearing, like, what do you expect from the showcase? And do you think...
Can I jump in real quick? Because you're actually being asking me for the showcase. Are we in the field interview? We're going to the showcase because that's the last.
No, we're going to the showcase because like
I haven't answered the field question because I have that. I really need to jump on that because I got to say a couple things. Yeah,
but jump on that. But right after that, let me know, what do you expect from the showcase, and do you feel like if this showcase is a miss, do you feel that somehow Xbox division could be in trouble?
No. Okay. Let me say a couple things because I'm gonna go on a little tiny rant, right? let's start from the beginning. You know, the people grabbed the Phil Spencer console thing, right? And there is an interview from 2019 where Phil Spencer actually says, you know, that they wanted to make that their console leader. He actually does say that. It does come out of his mouth, right? But here's the thing that what people don't understand, and this is something that we have to say it, and it's the truth. When 2020 struck in, every plans that happened before 2020, every idea everybody had, it doesn't matter what it was there or what they were planning, because remember, when you start a generation, right, a console generation, you got to have people developing games for the next 6 years. That's the generation, right? You got to have people working on something so you can deliver something. So when he actually talked about, you know, the consoles in being console leader in 2019, right? 2020 struck, and that's when the pandemic hit. All the plans, everybody's plans, all of them, not only Xbox, PlayStation, all of them, all of their plans literally got demolished right there. I mean, you couldn't find a console in the store. You couldn't get this. You had to get it from a scalper. You had to do this, do that. And also, because this is something I have to say, and it's the truth, tell me what game in this generation, since it began in 2020, right at the end of 2020 till now, a game that has come out without any issues. I mean, there's like 90% of the games that have come out have come with issues. I mean, you had Outriders with save issues and a bunch of stuff. Cyberpunk came out with broken mess. You also had what was the other game? Look at I mean, seriously, because of the pandemic going on. I mean, Star Wars came out, which was a good game, but it's having performance issues. And I'm telling you guys, these guys had to work from home. These guys had to sit
Honestly,
down.
out of the top of my head, the only one I can think of is
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush, yeah. You know? But Dark says Chris Louis, but Sony and Nintendo still found ways to ship games. Yeah, they still found ways. But I'm gonna tell you something though. You're one of them who actually played Horizon Forbidden West and actually said, hey, I had a save problem with the game. So I'm telling you, pretty much the games that have come out have come with issues. Not all. It doesn't mean that they were bad. They just have come out with issues. So this is something I've been telling people, and this is actually the truth. Degeneration is beginning this year. This is the year where these consoles are going to start with everything. I mean, right now they're working at the offices. They are working with everything. They got consoles or stores, because right before you couldn't go to a store and they'd say, "Hey, let me get a PS5." No, you couldn't. Now you can actually find a PS5 in the store, and you can find an Xbox in the store, right? So this is right now the beginning of this generation. It's beginning right now. Believe it or not, this is where it's beginning. And not only that, also with the developers too. I mean, developers, this is like their year to start, sitting down, let me fix whatever I gotta fix, let me get everything done, let me get everything right. Okay. They gotta do that. And also, one of the big issues that Xbox has that they really need to do is check that quality, that control and quality thing, right? You guys gotta sit down and check your games before you say, hey, let's release it. Like, for example, the 30 FPS issue was the problem. Yet you come out with the game, and the game actually came out broken, because I've been playing Redfall, and I've seen a bunch of bugs and stuff like that, right? And it's really badly broken. I mean, it doesn't mean it's unplayable, but it's broken. If you're coming out with this game and you saw that it was this broken, I mean, you should have delayed it. I mean, you had the time to delay it. Like I said, you should have announced this when you were giving out the games to try it out. And right then and there, you should say, okay, let's check it out one more time. Hey, should we delay it a couple months? Let's delay it a couple months in order to fix these things, and then let's release it in 4K, 30 FPS without any bugs, any issues. It would have been perfect. I mean, it would have been good. Of course, we want the 60, but it would have been good. But the other stuff about firing Phil Spencer, I will not fire him. Phil has been working really hard with this console, because I'm going to tell you all something from 2020 and below, right? From down 2020, the Xbox One generation did not have games. They did not. So they had a plan in 2019. What was the plan? Okay, I bet you they were sitting down talking with ZeniMax to purchase them. I bet you they were doing all that. And they had an idea, a perspective on how they were going to go in the next generation with the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, where they were going to go, right? But those plans really just died. I mean, literally everybody's plans died. They died. I mean, I know Nintendo's delivering, Nintendo's doing all this stuff, but hey, they got their things handed down. But remember, Xbox, this is their first time where they're actually having a whole bunch of studios all together, They have never had such a huge thing because usually, if we go to 360 days, there was more third party exclusives than more first party exclusives. So what I'm trying to say is this: it's a hard thing for them to work at. It's a hard thing, for them to bring it all up. And hey, they're gonna make a few mistakes. And it's good that he actually came out in an interview and hey, he was pretty pissed off. I mean, really, he's pissed off. Why is he pissed off? Because the same month you had the CMA blocking, and that same month you had, I mean, not the same month, like 2 or 3 weeks later, you come out with this game broken. People are gonna start jumping at you and say, "Hey, what's going on over there? What you guys are doing? You guys working wrong." But the thing is that people tend to forget what has happened from 2021 to the day Redfall came out. And these guys have been delivering great games. I mean, Hi-Fi Rush was awesome. You had Halo, which the story was cool, was awesome, but the multiplayer thing has been an issue. We understand that, and it's going to keep working on that. Horizon, Forza Horizon was really good. And I mean, I can just keep on going with all the games that they come on. Psychonauts 2, Sour, you love Psychonauts 2. Psychonauts 2 was
Yeah, yeah,
another great
that
game.
was my game of the year that
That was
year.
your game of the year. So that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, people tend to, say this fire field, but you need to remember what has happened from 2021 till this day Redfall came out. Because I'm gonna tell you something though, it's bad. Yes, I agree, and I'm not defending. I'm not defending Phil. I'm not defending Xbox or anything. I'm just telling y'all facts, truth.
Crazy, what do you mean? I mean, King say hold the line, but I think you're
No,
going.
no, 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 no. It's not being hold the line or anything. I'm being honest though. I'm being honest though.
No, I'm
I'm
just
being I'm,
kidding with you.
I'm being
Of
honest. I'm being
of
honest with you.
of
It's
which a bunch of people also took out of context. Speaking of things
Oh
going in that
yeah, oh
context.
yeah. I
Oh
saw
boy.
a couple clips.
like what they took out of context. What?
I just watch his show that he was on today. He talks about it, but it's just like with Phil's apology, right? Is like people
Uh,
took away. It almost feels like they took away what they wanted to take away from it, not
yeah,
necessarily what the
because
actual thing was.
Because I can tell you something. It's good that he came out. It's good that he showed that he was mad. I'm happy that he came out. He was mad because hey, he's gonna have a change of attitude and he's gonna focus on before releasing the game. Say, let's check this out. I mean, it doesn't matter if the game is a sucky game, right? As long as it's got a good quality, he's gonna say, throw it out. He wants this game to come out with a good quality. He doesn't want to throw out broken games, which it looks really bad on their side. So really, fire Phil thing, no, because Phil has actually turned this company around. He actually has, and he's for me, he's doing a pretty good job with everything that's been going on. Right? He's gonna have a couple misses. Nobody's perfect, but he's actually doing a really good job. That's the way I'm seeing it. But yeah. So that's my take on the whole Phil interview thing. What's going on, right? So now I'm going to move on to the Xbox Showcase. Sal, what was the question? What would I see? What am I going to see in the
Oh,
showcase?
what do you expect from the showcase? And what do you like? Do you think? How important do you think the showcase is? Do you think like if they don't deliver, they're in deep trouble, or what do you think about that?
Well, from the way he explained in his interview, I think this showcase is going to be a really important showcase, and he knows that for a fact. He knows that this showcase is the most important one because last year we saw the showcase. A bunch of us were a bit mad because we did not see, first party games or what's going on with first party games. He knows this showcase. He has to show. He has to give. He has no. I mean, seriously, I told you guys this before. I don't care. I want to see gameplay. I don't want to see a cute video about a girl chasing down a giant, which she falls and a flaming fart comes out. No, I don't want to see none of that. No, I want to see, you know, gameplay. I want to see stuff from the games. I want to see what's going on, and I also want to see a year or a date. They have to give me a year or a date. This game is gonna come out and man, like I mentioned this before, you got State of Decay, you got Avowed, you got Fable. What's going on with Fable? I mean, show something, show us something that we can say, hey, um, we're gonna love this, we're gonna enjoy this. You gotta give us something to talk about, not little videos, not little teasers, because hey, it's been what 2 years since we saw teasers from all this stuff, and we still have gotten nothing. So yeah, basically, you gotta show from the games you have talked about Contraband, Indiana Jones, State of Decay. I don't know what's going on with Everwild. I don't know what's going on with Perfect Dark, Fable. Something's got to be going on there. But yes, show us something, give us something so we can actually talk about and see and be amazed. Drop our mouths, give us something cool. Not only from um oh man, the idea just went off my head. Seriously, I was there and it just went off. But yeah, it's happened. Sorry guys, I had a little daydream. But yes, seriously, just show us something, give us something good, and just do it. You have to do it. This is your showcase. You got to deliver on this one. Really important.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to Crazy Louie's TED Talk.
Oh man, I just want to say real quick. Personally, me, I didn't have a problem last year with the showcase. My big problem was probably messaging. They never stated that it was gonna be a 12 month. I wasn't expecting that. I was more hyped about trying to see some of the other games, but after I saw the showcase, I understood what they were going for. But then the other bad thing was that unfortunately, they didn't deliver on the actual dates that they gave, because if they would have delivered with the dates and then the games would have come out not broken, a good quality and all that, I think it would have been a solid showcase. Not, I wouldn't say great, but me personally, I would like them to show us updates on games they have already announced. Most of them with gameplay. Not all the games they show have to have gameplay, but a good amount should have gameplay. They should show dates on a good amount of games. They can also surprise us with one or two surprises of games that are coming in the future. Let's say, for example, Compulsion game. For example, we haven't seen nothing about that, but we have heard they can show a teaser of that, and that's fine. But you got to mix in a little bit of everything, make everyone happy, and I think they have enough studios and enough projects where they can pull that off. So that's personally what I think. What Dave? Is there anything that you're expecting from the showcase that you would like to see, or were you happy with last year's showcase also?
Well, I mean, sure showcase. The quality was good. The pacing was okay, but they need to have a big blowout. Like Louis said, they need to.
Yeah.
It needs to. We need to see everything. We need to see everything that they are able to show us. We need to see it. Preferably gameplay for at least some of the titles that have been announced a few years ago, even if it's small little bits of gameplay, so we can actually get our heads around what this game is going to be. Fable would be a big one that they really need to show a little something on, even if it's still a year away or more. They need to show us a little something. Pete Hines was saying that oh, this is so great when I went to see the studio, but I told him, well, you should show this, and they're like, no, we don't want to show it yet. So he was excited enough to say that it should be shown, and they're saying they want to hold off a little bit longer to put more polish on it. I have a feeling it's going to be really good, and it needs to be really good. One thing you said, Lou, but about the because it was Hellblade 2 and their big giant part that is gameplay. That's what they said it was. That is actually gameplay. We didn't see a HUD in there like with stuff that's happening, but that was actual in-game engine, actual gameplay mechanics of the game being done. So, just so you know, and if you're not sure, you can look it up.
Oh no, I'm sure, but I'm saying like they need to show more than just a simple video, like like the combat stuff like that, because I want to see the combat on what's going
Sure,
on.
me too. Me too.
I mean, I really want to see that.
Hopefully, we'll get an announcement at this showcase that oh, by the way, November. It could happen. Maybe not. Maybe wishful thinking. Some people are speculating that could be out this year. Other people are saying that it could be the big game that leads off next year. It could be the big leader for February, March, something like that, which would still be good if that happens. I won't complain because it's definitely a game that we need to get out and get playing. But if it comes out in December flawlessly, 60 frames per second, all the benchmarks we need in place, you know, we know those studios can do it. I mean, Hi-Fi Rush, even though it's, you know, a smaller game, it shows that they can actually release a flawless game and nobody knew anything about it. Nobody, you know, and I guarantee you there's probably at least 10 more games in the works, at least overall at Microsoft right now that are in polishing stages or getting close to that none of us know anything about. Nothing's been leaked to Jez or anything else. It's just, and then they're working really hard on those, and then we will find out about those as they feel like they need to release them. So I don't know. That's I'm really hoping that there's a lot of things at the showcase. They need to clearly have a path. And from the way Phil was talking, it seems like they're going to be a couple of the big titles we're going to see more on. More information, more whatever, not necessarily releases, hopefully we'll get, the release date for one or two of these other ones, at least Forza for sure. It definitely needs to be, we need the release date for Forza. That's a no brainer, but it would be nice if there's some other surprises, like other games they've been working on that they haven't talked about yet, like we heard about, 2 years ago with Fable, well, what's the next game in the pipeline that they're working on that would drop a few surprises like that would be nice too, because that'll continue the momentum and the excitement and maybe give some of the other games a little breathing room so we're not so focused on what about this and this. But I don't know, that's I think it's going to be great. I think and then when the Starfield showcase right afterwards with with all the sex and bondage that Louis can do in the game, it's going to be great. He's been waiting for that. You come on, Louis, don't lie. I can cuss, I can kill people, there's lots of blood, I can have sex with my jetpack.
Wait a minute.
That's officially a game I don't want to see Crazy Louis stream.
No, wait.
If you're streaming that, you're not streaming it on the XBI channel, though.
Oh no, wait. But if you give me Starfield with kills like Doom, oh man, I'm jumping into that game. I mean, if you give me those Doom kills, hey, we can. Why not? We can. Might.
It's too big.
Hopefully, it'll be where you can choose between first person and third person.
Oh yeah,
That's I'm going to go third person all the way.
That's something we saw in the background in the last time we were talking about it. But I got a question for you guys, because here's something that people, I don't know if you guys missed it or something, but when Phil was talking and kind of funny, he was mentioning the games that are coming out. He actually, I think it slipped out of his mouth. He mentioned help. He said, what was it?
Yeah, he mentioned Hellblade.
He mentioned Hellblade. It came out. Hellblade's gonna go, and then he just stopped right there and just and continue, because I watched the intro like 3 times today. And I noticed he said that. Do you guys think Hellblade is ready to come out?
Dude, I love the idea. I forget who it was that was saying it earlier, but someone was talking the idea of doing a shadow drop on that, like Hi-Fi Rush. I don't think we're gonna see that. And I really hope this game is sooner than later. But I think we've talked about it in the past. Is I kind of always stood that this one was going to be at the earliest, maybe a spring 2024, if not a holiday 2024. I don't know. It feels like I think it was 6 to 8 months ago, we ended up seeing kind of that behind the scenes where they're like, hey, we're going super in detail with our actual rotoscoping and recording of the different areas where we're actually making these locales and stuff. And it got me nervous that maybe they're not. I mean, they're probably quite a ways into the project, but I don't know if we're at content complete yet to the point where we could actually see a release in 23.
Yeah, you mentioned shadow drop. I think if anything gets shadow drop, it could either be that Project Mara, that one, but also or that the one that's supposed to be, is it a RTS like Balfour or something like that?
Oh, Belfry.
Belfry. I think I think Jess mentioned the name. It's something with clock or something like that.
Yeah.
The tower. Tower something, clock something. I don't recall the name. I think either one of those two kind of work, because Project Mara, they're working, simultaneously with Hellblade, and I feel like that could kind of, you know, I feel that game is like a lower scope game, but yet, of course, it's gonna have all the high fidelity and all the graphical, like, just to surprise people and trying to kind of give us a feel of what to expect with Hellblade. If that's ready, that might be. If not, a new IP, it already work with Hi-Fi Rush, that other project they have, which I don't think it's a project that, you can do like a bunch of marketing, so it would make sense to shadow drop that one.
Which game? Sorry.
The project, I think it's Belfry.
Oh, Belfry. Okay. But
I'll
yeah,
try to.
because Microsoft has so much stuff going on, really. But it's time for them to show what, like I said, what they teased. They got to show. They got to show. Seriously, if they don't show on this showcase, this is actually their most important showcase of all of them. I mean, this is their showcase. They got to do something big.
See,
Okay, I got the name real quick. The Wandering Tower.
Wandering Tower.
I don't know if I had heard about that.
Mm.
I knew of Project Belfry, but I didn't know the actual name.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's actually a 2D side scroller gameplay. So
it's not an RTS.
it's not an RTS.
You lied to me,
I was right about the tower, but
you got
I can't
my
get
hopes
everything
up.
right.
You got my hopes up. You got me excited that we were going to see an RTS renaissance, and then you kicked it right down the drain. I don't appreciate that.
Oh man. Well, I think it's time to land the plane.
Why don't you go? Oh, Big Plume is back. Why don't you ask Big Plume?
Get Plume.
Yeah, ask
Yeah,
Plume.
get Plume. Ask Plume. Yeah, Plume is back. Get Plume. Ask him that question.
He probably
What
knows
was the
more than
question?
any of us.
I think he's on mute.
Oh
Plume,
yeah.
are you on mute?
Plume, are you
I'm
good?
on mute. Now
There
I'm
we
on.
go.
Okay, what do you expect for the showcase, or what do you want to talk about the showcase?
The showcase. Well, like it is their biggest one, but I feel like we say that every single year. Like the last 2 years, we said the same thing, right? It was like 2021. They got to show us that they're ready to bring the games. 2022, they got to show us that they're going to bring us what's coming for Game Pass for everything going forward. This year, it's obviously with the whole Redfall thing. People are just sitting there waiting to see if they're going to be able to kind of make up for that. What I want to see. So it's like last year was the whole 12-month thing, which they didn't deliver. I actually was a fan of it, and a lot of people weren't, but I was a fan of it if they would have delivered on the 12-month thing, just because I like gameplay. I honestly, I just want to see gameplay of these games. Like, there's always room for hyping up for like games coming out in years from now, but if it's like 80% gameplay and then 20% just stuff that we're not going to see for 5 years, I'll be happy. Like that's just literally why I don't care too much anymore about seeing games that are like 5 years out, because what's happened in the last 2 years, where games that finally have come out that were announced a long time ago, they come out broken, and it's just like you're just disappointed at the end of the day. So I just want to see gameplay. I want to see games that are actually being developed and kind of what we can expect from gameplay wise from the stuff that they've announced years ago.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
crazy. Time to land the plane.
It's time to land this plane, and yes, here we go. Man, it's been one crazy, awesome episode. Lots of fun, lots of jokes, lots of cool stuff going on. Sorry about that long rant and me preaching, but yeah, I had to get this out my chest because I had so much stuff going on. I've seen so many things on the whole Phil interview thing that I had to get it out. So sorry, guys. But yeah, either way, we had fun. Great stuff. Chat, you guys are awesome. You guys kept it rocking and rolling. And again, I want to thank Mr. Webdave for joining us tonight. It was awesome hanging out with you, brother. Please tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Well, gosh, I wish I did a YouTube channel. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, you can find me on YouTube. Outbreak at Outbreak Gamers is the easiest way to find me there. Let's see here. I can cut and paste this.
You've got the website too.
I do.
The
I do have a
website, which is
website.
very vast and expanse, goes back into the what was it? It was your
Escape
pod. Yep.
Mhm.
Escape
Pod.
pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's outbreakpodcast.com. Had that for a while, but yeah, and you know, I'm a couple of Boom shows. And then me and Retro do a show on Sundays now. That is it is Gamers Council, and it's new, and we really it's really taken off so far. So I'm really happy with that. We try and get people in from the audience as well, not like super chat type thing, but like we have it where you can record your comments, put them out there, or you can also. We've actually this last week we actually brought somebody in, and he did pretty good, so we kept him on for a while. So yeah, it's you just never know. It's fun, it's interesting. I need to have all you guys on. Silent's been on, but the rest of you guys, I need to have the rest of you guys on there. Maybe in the next couple of weeks or months, we'll work that out where you guys maybe have some time. We can we'd love to have you guys on and talk all about gaming, because God, we love gaming. Love it, love it, love it, love it, guys. Thank you so much for inviting me on tonight. This has been an absolute blast. You guys are all wonderful, amazing creators, each and every one of you, and I mean that, including you, Crazy. I really do mean that. Stay out of prison, son. So it'll be fine.
Oh man, really, thank you, man. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks.
Sour, tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Okay, let's see. Sorry. Okay, well, you can find me, of course, here every Wednesday. You can also find me every once in a while. I'm going to be doing some flight status video. I already released the first one, which had a great intro, right, Crazy Lou?
Dude, that was like one of the best intros ever.
No, that was not you. Why do you have to put me in it?
You sh-
Why do you have
you
to put
should-
me in? Why did you have to use the airplane from the movie Airplane? Use the footage,
So
and you
good.
had me running as a lady
So good.
running into the things. I mean, couldn't
So
you have
good.
somebody else?
Oh man, and you should wait for the next one. Ooh, the next one's gonna be even better. But anyway, you can also find me sometimes Friday at Xbox International en Español. So it's for the Spanish community. So go over there. It's gonna be Eternal Shaddai, Ask Up Gaming, Crazy Lou, and me myself, and Sourblow 18 here on Twitter and also on the Xbox console.
All right. The big.
Oh, hold on, Crazy. Wait up. Here you go. Okay, go ahead, prisoner.
What do you say? What do you know, prisoner? What do you just do? What? You son of a.
Talk to us, prisoner.
I'll get you for this. I'll get you for this. Wait, Plume, tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Plume Network, YouTube, Plume Network, Twitter, and yeah, it's showing up on maybe some random podcasts here and there. That's pretty much it.
All right. Silent Cypher, our captain. Please tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
All right. Well, yeah. So as per usual, you can always find me on the different social medias: Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, Instagram, Twitter. All of them is Silent Cypher. You can find me mainly on Twitter and TikTok. Sometimes on Xbox. If I show is offline and you guys are looking to see if I'm playing some games, my apologies. My son ends up sharing and playing some of the games on my profile as well. He logs into mine and plays on his so he can get his achievos. So if you ever see me sitting there playing and I don't respond, I apologize. It's probably because my son is playing video games with my account signed in as well. But as far as other places you can find me, you'll start seeing me at Fiverr here in the next little bit, because I've been starting to try and do some VO work, and I'm trying to get that up and running as well. So you might see some stuff from there. Hopefully it'll end up materializing into other things in the future. But yeah, it was a great show this evening. Dave, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. Thanks for tolerating Crazy's nonsense here and there.
I loved it.
His sermon pastor rant that went, I think, probably longer than I played Redfall, sadly. I'm just gonna say this, and I don't know if you saw it in the chat, but you're just gonna have to get back against him on Monday. You're gonna have to get back at him on Monday when you're on Boom Show, so that way you can show him the ropes a little bit.
Oh,
Did you say
man.
pick up the soap? Oh,
No, no picking, no.
no.
Only Crazy picks up the.
Oh my god.
I love
He's
you,
getting
Crazy Lou.
he's getting soap PTSD right now.
Oh man, it was a crazy fun show. Really, it was, man. Thank you again, Mr. Webdave. Can you please take out the damn prison bars, man? Seriously.
No, you're in jail time.
Okay. But before I go, let me just do real quick the poll of the week, because we've been missing out on the poll of the week lately, but I'm just gonna do it real fast. So the poll of the week was, after Phil's interview, are you done with Xbox? There were 67 votes, 6% said yes, 87% said no, and 7% said I will wait for Starfield or Showcase, which was pretty good. But anyways, guys, like I say, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell so it can tell you when next BI content goes on. And like I always say, remember, let's go. Let's rock, and
Let's pick up the soap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sourblow. Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived at our destination. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off this live stream. On behalf of Xbox International, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we're looking forward to seeing you aboard next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.